Can we really know everything out there? People from all walks of life have experienced the unknown, from angels to demons, good and evil, ghost and goblins, UFO to Bigfoot. The Jamestown, Kentucky Paranormal Research Center will give people a chance to voice their experiences. We will be working with the Elizabethtown Paranormal Society to help people as needed, look into haunted items, and give everyone a chance to share their stories. So sit back, relax, and listen with an open mind and heart.
Wrote it down, and then what I'll do is, no, I don't mind. This is, what I was going to do was, in this particular situation, I'm just going to kind of just document your story as you go, and then, this is your story, so all I'm going to do is just...
Oh, do I owe you for anything?
Absolutely not. No, nothing at all. I'm just happy to be able to talk to you.
Pay in a month.
The first story is about her father's experiences with a UFO and how the radio changed to playing stations years before the event took place, almost as if he went back in time. We would also like to note, for some reason, unknown in both conversations, the audio did drop during some points of the story. We have recovered most of the audio, but even Victor, during the first contact with the client, noticed some odd sounds from the phone line.
What we'll do is we'll kick this off. So today is July 14th. It's 2:04 p.m. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is Cynthia K-K-A-Y Ketron, K-E-T-R-O-N.
Perfect. And as you know, we're going to be recording you today, and
that's fine.
That's fine.
That's
perfect.
Fine.
So go ahead and if you want, the mic is yours. I'm just here to listen. And go ahead and start at the beginning, and we'll see where this thing goes.
All right, thank you for having me today. And I want to let anybody who's listening, do aliens speak to us? Are they already here on Earth? And does Bigfoot actually exist? Well, we're going to go into more detail, and I'll explain why at the end. My name is Cynthia Ketron, and I want to read to you about a story about my father, David Ketron. He loved Bigfoot and anything relating to that nature. He didn't believe that UFOs at the time, but he later became an enthusiast over it. And let me tell you why. It was in the spring of 1979. He was coming back from visiting a friend's house. He was trying to get back to Indianapolis. He was in Brownsburg, and it was just out on the countryside when this happened. His car suddenly stopped in the middle of the roadway, and then things began to change. There was a vacuum tightness in the car, and he also had a new that was brown. And she was starting to get hyperventilated. She was beginning to have barring. And Dad couldn't open up the window. She found out he was trapped in his car. The car radio changed back to late 1950s music, rock and roll. And Dad thought, boy, this is odd. I was playing modern stuff. And as he looked around him, the scenery began to change. The cars that were now passing him had no notion that he was even there in their time period. They were dressed in their style in their time in the 1950s, and they couldn't notice him. This went on for about, maybe a good hour. Dad didn't know what else to do except he began praying. He said, please, Lord, let me get back. I have a family to support. I need to take care of them. So luckily, the disturbance of the UFO that was hovering over him was a black craft with yellow and white lights, and it looked like a typical flying saucer. And he couldn't see any figures or anything like that. It was all dark. And after a while, it finally rose up and disappeared and made a loud humming noise. And but anyway, when he got back to Indianapolis, he was so frightened. I saw him came in the house. What was so amusing was I had bought a UFO book. Brian and I get library books, and we had taken out some books on UFOs. And you should have seen Dad's face when he got home, and Mom was cooking his favorite meatloaf, and homemade meatloaf. She was a great cook. And anyway, she said to Dad, she said, David, you're looking as pale as a ghost. What happened? And Dad said, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And later, after when dinner was over, she noticed something was wrong with Sandy. And she said, David, what happened to the dog? And then he finally broke down and told her about the spacecraft. And she said, don't you even tell your friends or nobody at church or nobody anywhere. She said, you don't want the government coming after us. But anyway, Dad was afraid to answer the doorbell whenever it rained that weekend, and he would run to his room. But anyway, he did say that he ran into the 3 men in black time sign. I have seen them since my dad died, so they're trying to get in touch with me again. That's why I called this gentleman, Mr. Hardy, to help me with this research, because I believe they're trying to get in contact with me again, and I'll tell you why.
Her father got to experience what many others say is a typical UFO encounter. That at times, these encounters result by them altering space and time when these encounters happen. Were the men in black out to get any information from her father of the event? Remember, the times were different back then, but does it happen today with our current video and hand cell phone technology? It's scary to think someone would be after you after an encounter as her father had. Let's move on to her second experience that has to do with the family farm in Randolph County, Indiana, where as a child her family felt time travel at the barn and then had interactions with an albino Bigfoot that was just as surprised of this encounter as the family. The Bigfoot was in hope for them to save her Bigfoot baby trapped in the deep hole in the barn. What happened to the baby Bigfoot? Did these monsters appear due to a rip of time and space? Due to this UFO? Let's listen in.
Okay, my second experience with the aliens. They transported us, they were trying to transport us back in time the second time. We were at Grandmother's farm in Randolph County, Winchester, Indiana. There were several old buildings. There was a 100-year-old barn and an old farmhouse that was uninhabitable. Nobody could live in it. And so what happened was, when Dad was posting the sign, Grandpa Checker, and that's my dad's dad, who owned the farm, he and his wife, Grace, who are no longer with us. But anyway, excuse me, they were talking to each other, and Grandma Catherine said, guys, don't look now, but I think we're being watched. And lo and behold, when he looked around the corner of the barn, there was a white albino mother Bigfoot, and she was howling and jumping up and down and just acting terrible. And she was actually pointing to the huge red barn where they were hearing screams and howls coming in from. And Mom said, what on earth is that, Dave? And we all ran over there to see it. We had the dog Sandy again, bless her heart. And anyway, Grandma was carrying her, and we looked over there at the barn, and what happened? Lord, it shot the heck out of us. Below the floor level surface of the barn, a youngster Bigfoot had fallen through the floor, and it was brown and white, and it kept pulling at the barn floor, trying to get out of it, and the mother Bigfoot kept pointing at the creature, and she kept pointing at my dad, like, can you please help us? And so, but anyway, Dad went to the car and got a bundle of rope and went down into the hole in the barnyard floor and pulled it back up. And then afterward, he recovered from his fright. He covered him up with a blanket, and Mom got him some fried chicken, which he really loved. She cut it up for him. And we decided to call him Homer. And so he's about like 5 or 6 years of age, and he looked like he had a human voice. And he would just smile at us. I was trying to teach him how to smile, and I patted him on the head. The fur feels just like when I felt the fur, it felt just like a chimpanzee's fur. It was sort of like that kind of fur. It was kind of, yeah, and it was kind of chestnut, kind of white and brown. I've never seen one of multi mixed color. And his eyes were regular color, and like his mother, even though his fur partial was white, he had regular eyes, but he was so intelligent, more so than the others. And he really appreciated her food. And the little albino went back out and got a baby rabbit and brought it back. And Mother said, Cindy, don't ask for if she got it. I don't want to know. She said, I hope the mother got away from it. But anyway, she took the baby rabbit and taken her and gave her. Mom was always bringing extra food home from the restaurants in case we ran into any stray animals on the farm. And last time, she was nice enough to feed an possum. But anyway, this time she was feeding the Baker family, so she gave the mother the same meal, and the mother loved the fried chicken. There were 3 other Bigfoots. They were kind of like teenagers, and they were just loving our food. And my dad says, well, I think at this point, before they start weighing more, it's time for us to go. So reluctantly, we gave them their home back. We wanted to make them part of our family. So this is my story of how I adopted a Bigfoot. And his brother's name, I named him Danny the Bigfoot. I haven't named the 2 others yet, but I'm thinking about names for them. But anyway, they were so enamored over that chicken. They made noises when they ran over the way back to the woods. And Mom says, I'm leaving my box here. So she left the picnic basket with some extra food in there. And Dad said, you better not wrap it in saran wrap or anything like that. They won't know how to get involved. She says, you're right, so I'm not going to use any plastic. So she left them some food. And luckily, home was hot on it. And Mom handed the basket. She said, showed him how to open it. She said, give it to your friend. So he and waved and tried to smile at him. And he was imitating Dad, laughing. But I said, hi, I'm Mama. I'm your adopted mom. And he couldn't say the word Mama, but he could say, And Brian said, you want another chicken leg? And Dad said, you better not, Brian, you'll make him sick. Anyway, they went off back to their home. And so this is
We have, as humans, took in many animals. And at times, they even realize we can live in peace together. Her experience has clearly stayed with her all this time. Can you go to Randolph County, Indiana, and see a Bigfoot out there looking for its family friend? Bring some fried chicken to better your chances for an encounter. And you, too, may take a new friend home with you. On to the next encounter she shared with us. Let's go to the Indiana State Fair, where her and her father encountered the UFO, time shifting again. But this time, a woman from another time was also lost. Did she get pulled from her timeline? Her glove was left behind, also an experience that changed the lives of her and her father forever. Let's listen to this experience.
Number 3 adventure that we had. Dad encountered the UFO one more time. He's encountered it 3 times. And on this time, he was at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. And Mom and a friend and her sister were there at the fair. And what happened was Mom and they went to see the women's park and some other rides and some other food. Dad was sitting there alone at the hot dog stand waiting for them, and he was having a couple hot dogs and a shake. Well, anyway, a young lady approached him from nowhere and said, can you please help me? And she said, Dad noticed that she was dressed in style from the 1950s. And he says, "Oh, are you here for a fashion show?" And she says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I think you have interesting dress there. It seems like it's from the late, it seems like from late 1960s or maybe earlier." And she said, "Oh, thank you." She was dressed in a blue long skirt and a blue blouse and a blue jacket and a blue hat, with a baseball hat and blue high heels, and Dad noticed something odd. She was wearing blue satin gloves. And so when she sat down, she said, "I seem to be lost." And Dad finally put two and two together. The Coliseum explosion, where it was like the aliens were trying to send Dad back into time again to help save these people. They're interested in our affairs and they want to change history. And so, but anyway, the young lady said her name was Lydia and she was lost and she was looking for a family. And she had you back to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Does anybody know who this destruction is? Is there anybody that was dressed like this or possibly passed away there at the fair that this destruction? Please let them know at the station. But anyway, when Dad looked back, she was gone. And one of the blue satin gloves was left behind, and Dad didn't know what to do with it when Mom returned to Aprils, and he turned it into the concession stand, lost her found. So he says, if this young lady comes back, please make sure that she gets her gloves back. So they said they never seen her before, and they didn't know who she was.
Could you just picture being in 1 year, and then all of a sudden, you are in a different time? Or how would you react if someone from the past just showed up scared? If this happens to you, be sure to give them an item or take a picture. Now we shift from UFO time lapse to a ghostly encounter. Can you run after a ghostly figure? Should we send the Elizabethtown Paranormal Society to investigate the area? Let's listen to this ghostly encounter.
Where something happened. Monument Circle is supposed to be haunted downtown. A man by the name of Sylvester committed suicide back in the 30s. He had financial trouble and health problems, and the poor man just couldn't take it anymore and had a nervous breakdown, and he jumped from the observation deck on the Monument Circle, and he landed on the angel's side, the one called peace, and broke her arm. Well, unfortunately, he died from this incident, but the man said the most amazing thing was he was waiting downtown. This was my first job downtown, and I'm what I retired from. And anyway, Dad was waiting to pick me up one night after work, and he saw a ghost of a man running across the lobby, and he at first he was solid you were right, and then he started changing to ghostly apparition, and before Dad could stop him, Sylvester repeated his over the head, and when Dad looked down, the time came back to modern times. But while he was chasing the man, he could see glimpses of the past from his time area where he jumped. But,
what a ghostly experience to have. But now we changed it up. What has happened to you recently? Let's listen to more recent encounters of the unknown.
This is quite the collection I have now, and I hope everybody's interested in more reaching the crime. That's why I think aliens should speak to us on my birthday, June 8, 1958 was when I was born. And so this year, in 2024, I had a surprise. Wilbert helped me receive house investigation here, and I'm going to tell you why that I think I can speak to the aliens. I think they're trying to get in touch with me again because they know this is the only way to communicate. We had a ghost investigation here, and it was very lively. I picked up the ghost of Rachel, who lives with me. She still lives at Mitchell, Indiana. kind of whispers, but she divides her time. She's sort of like a guardian angel, and she helps me with things. But anyway, what I'm getting at is some of the voices that I brought through when we had our investigation. Our group team was real nice from Kentucky. We enjoyed having them, and we had a lot of fun. I had a possessed doll, and it said several bad things to me. It said if I destroyed the doll, I would die within 5 years. This wasn't aliens. This was something else. I think they were trying to protect me. And anyway, I was also told by the voice on the spirit meter that if I tried to destroy it or give away or get rid of it by some other means, I would die. And I didn't think I would do that, so I gave it up to the team. Well, now the spirit has transferred itself into the other doll. It's a rag doll, and her name's Molly. And anyway, it seems to house the spirit in there. But the point is, the other voices that I was getting through the lead investigators that I had invited here on my birthday that day, she said there is an intelligent haunting here. And, you know, when I told her, I said, I don't think it is altogether ghosts. I think the aliens are trying to speak through me through these devices. The spirit bots had intelligent responses. It was just like talking to another human, and I don't think the spirit's going to carry on this much. Rachel was a woman that can really communicate with us, and the guy that crash landed on Ketron Island, he wants everybody to know his name's Rich, and he wants everybody to know that he's sorry for what happened. He didn't aim to have it. He said he wasn't thinking straight that day, and at the end he was trying to get back to the airport, and his plane ran out of gas, and he crash landed on Ketron Island. But he wants everybody to know that he thinks he can be all right now because he told his story, told that investigators, and he's telling everybody now. But anyway, I do believe that I spoke to aliens also that day on these devices. It was a spirit device that when you talk to it, it shows the word what they say, and it shows the bright lights on it. And I'm not saying everyone's going to have this experience, but because I'm a psychic, and I believe the aliens are trying to tell us, be careful, be watched, take good care of yourselves, be nice to your neighbor, be nice to anyone that needs help, and try to look out for them and see if they ever have anything to say to you. But I want you to know I do believe aliens came in through those devices that day, and I want to tell you why. Thanks for listening.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences here with us today, and they were very amazing. For what it's worth, you're definitely not alone. And that concludes, again, today is July 14th. The time is 2:39, and that was a bunch of side experiences that the client wanted to share with the world. And so we were happy to give her an ear and let her know that she's not alone, and that whether or not you believe in aliens, Bigfoot, or the unknown, everyone's opinions to her, this was her life. This is what she experienced. And we just need to know that everybody has a unique experience out there. And sometimes we may not comprehend from their experience, we may not agree, we may not even understand, but we at least have the opportunity to hear somebody and let them be able to explain what was their perspective of the unknown. Thank you for joining us today. Have a lovely night.